Okay, here's my scoop on Wosado magnetic lashes. They don't really work for me, and I would not recommend buying them unless you're okay spending $50 or more on a product that may or may not work. It's just kind of a crapshoot. I gave these a really fair chance. I tried applying them in so many different ways, so many techniques, and I practiced many times, and it just didn't really get a lot better. I am wearing the Wosado magnetic lashes today, and they might look okay from like the front, but just hear me out. I used the instructions that they come with, and those are kind of sparse, but there is more information on their website and on their YouTube channel and other social media platforms. So I consulted all of their how-to resources. I did everything that I could, and I will show you how they work, or how they kind of failed to for me. To give them one last shot, I'm just gonna reapply them on camera and show you what I'm doing and demonstrate how they don't actually totally work on my eyes, at least. I have the Silky Black 2.0 magnetic lashes. So these are in the upgraded box. So to start, I'm gonna take them off since I am wearing them right now. This is one of the pros about this product, is they're super easy to take off. To remove them, you just gently grab an edge and pull them off. And it's that simple, and through all of my testing and wears, I have never known these to take off natural lashes. Oh, you know what? That's funny that I said that. Is that my natural lash? I was gonna say, in general, I've never seen these take off my natural lashes while removing them, but I think it did just take one off just now, but it could have been a lash that was already ready to come off anyway. They're still pretty gentle magnets, and I don't think that they will be like regularly ripping out lashes that aren't ready to come off yet. I'm gonna put it back in the box just for now. Woo! Got this one back in the box. And I'm gonna grab the other one off also. There you go. So simple. I'm gonna reapply the left one first. That one tends to go a little bit better for me in general. Wosado and other creators have so many videos about how to apply these lashes, so I'm not gonna go in depth on that. It's a very simple process. I'm just gonna demonstrate how it works for me. Separate the lashes. Got them on my applicator. According to all of their videos, the technique to go for is push roll clamp. I'm gonna try to do this in a way that you can see. So I'm going to push it up against my eyelid. And then I'm gonna roll it up a little bit so I can see my waterline. I have to really aim for the very bottom of my lashes, or else it just doesn't get close enough. Push it. You roll it up, you clamp it shut. It is an okay job. It's about as good as I can get. Honestly, this is about as good as I can get. So I don't know if you can tell, but basically it does attach to my lashes, but I can just never get it all the way into my lash line. There's always a substantial gap between the lash band and my actual lash line, so it just doesn't ever get far enough in, I feel like. Pushing, rolling, clamping. Oh, that one didn't go well. Look at how far away the inner corner is. Yeah, I don't know why my right side is so much harder for me, but let me try it again. Yeah, that goes pretty bad. Usually I can do a little bit better than that. Attempt number 2. Okay, that was not bad. That was pretty good for my right side. Okay, just gonna put my little applicator back in here. It slides in there. Very convenient. I do love this case. I do love the whole packaging, the concept, everything. So yeah, here's my right side. I think I got it as close as I can. In my experience, this is as close as I've ever gotten it to my lash line, basically. I can never get it all the way in. So I just feel like no matter what I do, I can't quite get the placement correct. And it might be a lot of different reasons playing a part. I think one thing is that the applicator magnets are fairly strong. So when you go to take the applicator away from your eye after you've clamped down, it feels like the applicator kind of wants to hold on, especially on the top one still. So I'm a little worried that maybe the applicator is dragging the lashes a little bit away as it's coming away from the eye. Another thing just could be my eye shape. I feel like things are just harder for Asian eyes when they're not made for Asian eyes. And weirdly, Wosado is a Chinese company, so I feel like they would be, you know, targeting Asian shaped eyes, Chinese eyes, but maybe not necessarily. And for my Asian eyes, at least, the shapes just don't fit well. Wosado does make a clear lash fixer. It's like a clear mascara that you apply before you put on the lashes, and that's supposed to help the magnets stay on, but they say it's definitely not required for use. You should just be able to use them on your bare lashes. So I didn't get the fixer, and it shouldn't be required to have them work. I think that's more just for longevity. And I know that I'm not the only one with this problem. I know there are a lot of other people online in comment sections. I see people having the same struggle as me. They struggle with the application, and sure, to an extent it's a matter of practice, but I have practiced many times. And I'm sure that people have too. When you spend $50 on a product, you want to make it work, and I'm doing everything I can to make it work, and it's just not really working out. So at this point, I want to think that it's not all just user error. But, I mean, they look okay on camera, I think. Maybe it's not as easy to tell, but I just feel like looking in person or looking at myself in the mirror, it's so clear that the magnets are not as in as they should be. And I feel like that it becomes so much more obvious when you see these lashes from any angle besides straight on. And I've noticed this even in Wosado's own videos. They don't always show a perfect application. So these people will have the lashes on and they'll be talking about them, and then you'll see them from a different angle, or they'll kind of blink, and then you can see the end of the magnet sort of hanging off. So I'll show a couple of examples from Wosado's own official account. And then I also found a lot of examples from independent creators who are just doing videos about the lashes. And the same thing, as soon as you see another angle, you can kind of tell that the corners are not as in as they should be. But okay, I've managed to achieve like an acceptable application-ish. Like from straight on, it looks all right. So I tried them out in the real world. I wanted to test how they wear, so I wore the lashes out for a day of climbing. And I took before and after photos to compare how they looked before I went and how they looked after the climbing session. And climbing is a moderately active environment, but it's not like I'm pouring sweat, I'm not doing a HIIT workout, it's not super cardio heavy, but it is a moderately active thing. Like I'm doing something, things are happening, I'm out and about. So I thought that would be a good scenario to test these to see if they can hold up to some light to moderate activity. You see the things that I'm willing to do for these reviews. I'm going out into the world and I'm potentially looking the fool with whatever product I have on. That's the things that I do for you. And other lash brands that I wear usually stay on just fine when I climb. During the session, I started to notice the lashes more in my field of vision, which is always a sign to me that the lashes are not in the place that they should be anymore. So that was my clue that they were sliding further out than they already had been before. And my boyfriend confirmed this. He told me before we went that they looked all right. They looked okay to him. And then during climbing and definitely after, he was like, oh yeah, I can see that they're way more out. They look like they're coming off. And you can see there's a big difference in the distance between the lash band and my lash line. I will concede that again, I didn't use their lash fixer, so maybe this would have been a different situation if I had used their lash fixer or even just a mascara. Who knows? The point is that the magnets aren't foolproof. They don't stay on no matter what. They can slide down a little bit depending on the situation. So for me, ultimately, I have not been able to get the application just right. And even if I did, then they don't stay on very well for me and for my daily life. So regretfully, they just don't work for me, even though I really wanted them to. There's so many reasons I would love to have these be my main day-to-day lash. There are so many pros. It's just one set of lashes and you keep them in a super handy case. It's really cute. It feels really well made. It's compact but doesn't feel cheap. It has a built-in mirror. It has a protective cover so that your lashes don't fall out as you're using the case. The case fits the applicator as well. Everything's all just in one grab-and-go package. so travel friendly, so on the go friendly, purse friendly, everything. There's no glue involved, there's no, figuring out how to apply the glue, waiting for the glue to dry, anything like that. Removal is a breeze. They just come right off. You can pull them off and not worry too much about your natural lashes. And so you can remove them at the end of each day before removing all of your other makeup, which means that you can wear eye makeup and not worry about not being able to use an oil-based remover or anything. You can wash your face once they're off without worrying about any permanent lashes. You can shower after removing them. You can go to sleep and not worry about lashes on your pillow. All of these things just say to me, like, dream lash. This is my dream product. I would love to have this be my daily driver. And yet it just doesn't fit my eye shape somehow. I can't get the application right. So for the time being, my verdict is no, I would not recommend you spend your money on this, especially if you have an eye shape that's similar to mine. I just think that you might struggle with getting them close enough to your lash line. Here are some other observations I have about the product. For me at least, they work the best, or as best as I can make them, when I line up the curve of them with the curve of my eye. So basically I have them at the top of my curve as opposed to more toward the outer corner. So for me, it means that the lashes sit more toward the inner corner and the top, because I don't have a very long eye, and that means that the outer corner actually doesn't have any lash on it. So you can see that like the magnet ends before my natural lash line does. And that's fine, that doesn't bother me, but that's something to keep in mind, that the shorter lashes, if you apply them lined up with the top of your curve, then they might not reach all the way to the outer edge. And for me, if I try to apply them more toward the outer edge, then that outer corner just hangs off so far from my lash line. Like I cannot get it anywhere near the lash line if I apply it more on the outer side. So I have to go more in the middle / inner. But that may be because I have one of the shorter lash styles. They do have actually new styles that have a longer band. So if you have a larger eye, you might want to go for one of those if you want the lashes to cover more of your lash line. Another thing is that the magnets are actually kind of visible, so if you don't put on any other eye makeup, if you don't use liner, mascara, and you have a situation similar to me where you can't get the magnets all the way in, then it might be actually quite obvious that you're wearing these, because the magnets themselves, they're very clearly these thick black lines, and then there's a gap between them. So there are two halves, and there's a gap with no magnet in the middle. And so you can kind of see the hole, depending on the angle that you're looking at them from. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The magnets might be very visible and obvious and have that gap in the middle. And if you don't like that, you can wear eyeliner or mascara or something to kind of fill the gap and make it less obvious. Okay, those are all of my thoughts on this product so far. If you have tried the Wosado magnetic lashes before, then let me know what you thought of them in the comments. It can be helpful for me and for others. And if there are any Wosado girlies out there who have advice for me on what to do differently, what to fix about my application to make it work better, then please let me know. I would love to figure these out and make them work for me, and I would use them all the time if I could do that. So please, if you have advice, share them in the comments. Hello, I just finished recording the video and I realized I forgot to say a couple of things. The first thing being that if you do decide to try out these Wosado lashes, absolutely no shade to you. I hope to goodness that they work out for you. I really want the best for you, but I just want to warn you that you might be spending a lot of money on a product that turns out to not work. Similarly to how it didn't work for me and for a lot of other people in comment sections. And the second thing is that it might feel like I am hating on this product, and I don't mean to. I just mean to warn folks. But if I get some kind of advice that helps me apply these in a better way and makes them work out for me, then that would be the ideal situation. I would love to make them work, and if that is the case, then I will absolutely post an update and I will amend my opinion and my recommendation about this product. So this is just my position on the Wosado magnetic lashes for the time being, but if anything changes, then I will update it. And if you have any other products that you want me to review in the future, then let me know and I will take your ideas into account. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.